I think the BCS is a better format than pre-BCS simply because then it was all about really popular vote, I think, of sports writers, and I'm not sure the coaches were involved initially. There was some dispute in that regard. I think it was more regionalized at that point.
While it may seem to the fans like the most important priority of college football is determining the national champion, it's pretty far down the list. If you're a college administrator, how am I going to fund the cross-country team? How am I going to make sure that we keep our season ticket base up? How do I make sure that we're not going to get in a situation where we have to cut scholarships and that sort of thing?
But I first took office the year that we went to the Rose Bowl. And I can count tens of millions of dollars that came to the academic enterprise of the university from people my wife and I and others in the university administration met at the Rose Bowl because it was a great community event. It was a great university event. It was a chance to celebrate. And the giving was to the academic side of the university, but it wouldn't have happened with the intensity or the enthusiasm otherwise. I'm convinced of that. There's, in my view, indisputable evidence to that effect. So that bowl is not just a symbol. It actually means something to the economic and philanthropic vitality of the university, and it's a positive thing. Well, notwithstanding the investment that you made and or the profile you've chosen, that all of a sudden you get a share of the revenue that makes you suddenly rich, is I think not only not realistic, it's the same as my saying to an institution, gee, you charge $40,000 a year in tuition. We ought to have a tuition sharing pot.
I think politicians, by the nature of who they are and what they are, sort of jump on the latest craze that seems to be popular, and they try to affiliate themselves with that to gain votes.
And you're funding an athletic department that may have 20, 22 other teams that don't make any money, that in fact lose money, and are being funded entirely by the football program. I don't necessarily believe that they would have, the playoff would have these drastic consequences for the regular season, but that is why they're so concerned, because so much is riding on college football's regular season.
The critics are oblivious to this, or they disregard it or undervalue it, and so I want to respond as forcefully as I can. They ignore the academic calendar.
I think a playoff in any sport is the best solution to determine a champion, but is it the best solution for college football as a sport is where I'm a little less convinced. I think definitely alleviate a lot of the controversies and help pick a true champion. It would just be a much different sport than the one we have now. A lot of people, I don't think, have truly stopped to think about, well, how would that affect the sport as a whole that we know and love, that we take for granted has such a dramatic regular season. And